Can I go over OID and amortization when there's a capital gain or not? I understand the math, just the concept. Okay, well, when we first came up, I'll go with the one you're probably more likely to see. The first person, a very famous guy in our business, a guy named Louis Ranieri. And Louis Ranieri worked at Salomon Brothers, and he came up with the idea of stripping a bond and selling the income components separately from the bond itself, the original zero coupon bond, because it has no coupons to it. And then issuers said, well, gee, who would have ever thunk somebody wants to buy an investment with no interest? Well, heck, if you want a bond that pays you no interest, we'll sell that to you. That's called an OID. Now, Jake, when we first came up with these OIDs, what I would like to tell the IRS is I bought the zero coupon bond OID for $500. It has 10 years to maturity. I get $1,000 at maturity. I'd like to tell the IRS that that's a long-term capital gain because I held it for more than a year. And the IRS says, no. They say, Dean, when you buy a OID, a bond originally issued at a discount, you have to do straight line amortization upward called accretion. You're going to have, and here's the point, Jake, an adjusted cost base. And then if we have sales proceeds, we're going to compare our sales proceeds to our adjusted cost base, and that'll either be a capital gain or capital loss, right? So the math, it sounds like you're doing up, going down. Down when that shows up, Jake, it's about 50% probability, and that's on a muni bond purchased at a premium. Same thing, the IRS says, well, Jake, if you buy a muni bond at a premium, you're collecting a higher than today's tax-free return. And we think that what you'd like to do is realize the loss on the muni whenever it's convenient for you. IRS says the same thing. No, Jake, you got to do straight line amortization downward, not testable. I call that decretion. Accretion going up, decretion going down. So you're going to have an adjusted cost base. I do think you could see that. And then again, your adjusted cost base versus sales proceeds would be the gain or loss. Brian, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I came up with this little graph a long time ago so that I could understand what was going on because I'm just a visual kind of guy. That's why I'm always in front of a whiteboard. And he's absolutely right. These lines, of course, show the adjusted cost basis over time. Dean, it's interesting. I wonder exactly, since the top off has cut off half the questions from the Series 7, how many of these questions actually show up? I think there might be one, might be two at the most.
Yeah, I told you, I think that when I'm doing debrief, Jake, about half the time somebody tells me they had to deal with, practical application of it. So here's another example, Jake, like events where I don't know if Brian would concur, but I like that you can do the practical application. You just understand the concept because it's not the concept that's testable. It's the practical application. That being said, though, happy to answer it. I know if I understand something and it looks like Brian is visual part, then I don't have to memorize as much stuff. So.